So we're back.
Hang on.
Oh.
Let's just bring that down a little bit.
We're back.
Start now.
Week 4.
4, yeah.
Oh my God. Does this mean we've been doing it for a month? No.
Yeah,
No.
a whole month, yeah, once
Next
a week.
week will be a 4-week.
No. How many months are there in here?
How many weeks there are in a month? Well, I know there's 4, but surely I can't believe that this has been a month. Pass your Coke. All right. Let me if I can have a sip of this. So we're back.
Other brands are available.
Yes. I'm wearing the zombie infection hat today because my hair needed a wash and I couldn't be bothered. So there we go. I stole that from Greg. Cool. So last week where we spoke about multiple things, we had our Liverpool event. So we were talking to you guys about how we write scripts. Well, how Greg writes scripts for Liverpool.
It went really well, didn't it?
It did go really well.
Yeah, we had 3 events. The last one it rained. And it's partly outside, partly inside. But I think it still worked okay. So aside from obviously like when zombies are throwing themselves on the floor, like it doesn't help when the rain starts pouring down. So because we're tired at that point as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
But yeah, it was a really good event. Really happy customers for a first event where we had only been there once. It worked really well.
Yeah, no one fell in the water. I mean, actually, no one went anywhere near the water.
No,
we were just assuming the worst.
That's because we did such a good job.
Funny story.
The old cone story from last week.
So if you watched last podcast, you'd see that Greg bought cones for Liverpool, and they actually ended up coming and they were this big. And we laughed about it for ages. Anyway, he actually forgot them. So not only we created all that fuss, didn't we? And you've completely
I didn't even take them. So
those cones were a completely pointless purchase.
What a purchase that was.
But they didn't go near the water anyway, did they?
No, yeah.
So
it was really good. Yeah, so check it out. It's called the Boathouse. It's just south of Liverpool, actually. It's in Cheshire. Ellesmere
Port.
Ellesmere Port, yeah.
Next event is 18th of February. We've actually got a while now, yeah.
So we're at the Forest this weekend. Same deal, really, because it's outside, although there's a big canopy, so it kind of helps when you're running around.
Sure.
But so we're at the Forest this weekend. But that's events. What are we talking about this week?
So we were going to speak about... because
we had this conversation, didn't we? Sorry, I just remembered.
Sorry.
Lucy's not been very well this week.
No, I feel much better. It's just the after effects of it now. We were speaking about how physically fit we have to be during our events.
Yeah.
And how we were watching The Walking Dead, right? And we were thinking, bloody hell, if we do what we do for a for one evening a week, how do they physically feel every day?
Yeah, I mean, we were watching, I think it was episode 9 or 10 of the last season of The Walking Dead, spoiler alert. And they were running away from these, basically just 2 survivor clans, you know how The Walking Dead works. And we sat there and we just thought like, because we were shattered. Like after the weekend, we were so tired because we're really short-staffed at the moment. And when we're short-staffed, like, those with more experience tend to just pick up the pieces.
We're stretched.
We try and fill the gaps. So this weekend I was like filling guns, I was putting lights out, I was also being a zombie, I was helping with makeup, getting new people ready, doing walk rounds. Like I didn't sit down for a good 12 hours.
It was crazy.
It was mad. And it's a big site. So you're doing what was your stats on your watch again?
Almost 5,000 calories.
Yeah, 5,000 calories. Yeah. So we were really
till
shattered.
Midnight. We got back to the hotel at 3 a.m. Yeah. We were only an hour away.
Yeah.
So we didn't stop till at least 1:30. So
yeah. So off the back of that, we were sat on the couch on Sunday evening. I think it might have even been Monday. And just thinking, we are like exhausted. But then we were watching The Walking Dead and we're thinking, yeah, but they have to do that like every day.
Yeah.
So you'd have to find the energy to pick yourself back up again and do another 12 hours on your feet, right? Because it's just non-stop.
Just to be clear, we're not talking about the actors on The Walking Dead filming. We're talking about if The Walking Dead was real and you were in the apocalypse, the fact that they would have to keep going. Just for a bit of clarification.
Yeah, so we were like, so obviously our events, we tried to make them as real as possible. So we were having a conversation about like, how real is it? Because like, we're obviously knackered. the people who are actually surviving an apocalypse, surviving a zombie apocalypse specifically, how knackered are they going to be? But then we get to just sit on our couch and sort of recover and then go again the next week. But imagine just having to go all the time, every day, like for survival. It's really quite an interesting thing.
I had a really funny thought. Sorry. Because when I watch The Walking Dead, I think of that. And I also think of things like, things that you wouldn't be able to do anymore. And it doesn't matter. Do you remember once I said to you, one thing that you wouldn't be able to do would be to shave? Like shave your armpits, or your legs or other areas. Sorry, I just thought of it and laughed because I always think like, unless they manage to hold a razor and look after it the entire time, they don't have rucksacks full of unnecessary stuff, do they? They have rucksacks full of necessary stuff like food and drink and that kind of stuff. So they must be really hairy.
And yet on the show they're surprisingly shaven.
Some of them have makeup on. I wonder where you get that makeup from. I mean, they are pretty good on the show, aren't they? They're quite good at kind of making it look like the sets. Do you remember some of the time we were watching it a few weeks ago and someone walked into a scene, you said, did they build that whole scene just specifically for that one shot? So they are pretty good at
season, though,
makeup and costume and that. And
it's no coincidence that they set it in a forest, is it? Cause
it's easy, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's what
you kind of set with that one. But yeah, so, I mean, it'd be great to hear your thoughts really, because do we think that, how close do our events actually push you? It pushes us, I feel like, to the real limit. It's like, I guess like the equivalent would be like running a marathon or like doing something physically, like climbing a mountain where you climb half and then you have to get up the next day and you have to go again, that kind of thing.
However, I think a lot of the difference with that and physical sport is that our minds are so when you're running, your mind's at peace, isn't it? Because you're in a rhythm, you're just chilling. Yes, it's physically difficult, like ridiculously hard. But what we're doing, we're thinking about like doing this, like so many things at once. So I think it is mentally just as draining as it is physical. For me, you get used to it.
I've never run a marathon. Well, I've run a half marathon.
No, I'm talking about the job. The job.
Yeah, but you were comparing
to something
fitness, sports exercise to what we do.
Obviously,
it is different.
You hit the runner's wall and you have to get past it. But what I'm saying is, yes, it's physically difficult. But, in real life, if you were in The Walking Dead and you were living in the apocalypse, you'd be constantly wired all the time, as well as physical,
We're really impressed with the last season of The Walking Dead. I know it got a bit crap in the middle, but actually this last season they're going back to basics and there's been some really good scenes in it. I've been enjoying it.
Back to basics, we want to see zombie hordes. We want to see, gore and people getting eaten alive and cool things. This has some. We're not giving anything away, but we watched a really good episode last night, didn't we? And there was some really cool shots and
zombies exploding
with getting shot by like fireworks and it was it was really really cool.
Yeah, it was good. So if you fancy putting yourself to the test, then come along to one of our events, I guess.
Yeah.
We actually sent out an email shot today. You might have seen it, or you may have seen some of our social content this week. We've got a superb Black Friday deal going on, which is an experience gift card for two for just £99, which is normally 160 quid.
Yeah, normally, so that's quite a big discount. So we've had quite a few of those come in, haven't we? And it's perfect to give someone for Christmas as well. We can give you a nice little, if you order it, we can give you a nice little gift card that comes in the post.
We should have got one, really.
Yeah, we should have.
We could have shown it.
Perfect.
Have a look on our website.
Perfect gift.
It was funny. We've just had someone come through now with a gift card. So they purchase the gift card and the system allows you to put a little message to whoever you want on it. Now, that only gets added to the digital gift card, but you can upgrade to the printed gift card. But you get to write your own little message, and we just read one before we came on air to record this, and it said, "Happy Christmas. I guess there's no better way to celebrate being Christian," or something.
or it was like, this isn't very Christian or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, which made us chuckle. Yeah,
I love reading those messages.
Yeah.
We do get another one. Just put die. That was it. Die. So
Merry Christmas. Die.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. They're really popular though. It's a good deal.
Yeah, I've got a question for you, leading on to kind of what we were talking about with the whole, if you lived in the
apocalypse. Ask me then.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at them first because it's kind of a question for both. So if you lived in the apocalypse, like The Walking Dead, like Rick,
Yeah.
everything that's going on, if it happened right now, like everything kicked off right now, where would you go to hold up in to begin with? If there wasn't, let's just to clarify, if there wasn't like government trying to control everything, which they would, if it all shit kicked off, where would you go? Where's a good place that you think you would hold up in?
We actually have a blog post about this.
Do we?
Yeah, we did it a while back because it was sort of like your survival, tactics.
Right.
The best place to head, and obviously just my opinion, but I live and breathe it every day, is a castle or a fort. Castles are made to keep out people. Mm-hmm. So if they're made to keep out the living, then chances are they're going to keep the dead out. And one of the key factors is that they have moats. Now, this is the one thing that they did once, I think, when they were in the prison on The Walking Dead. They created a pit.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? They did. A pit.
Now, I constantly are like, if you have any battlements or anything, you dig a trench. Right? You have a trench because the infected are just going to fall into it. And then you set that trench alight, and it's easy to just corpse those bodies, right?
Yeah.
Just constant ring of fire. So a castle would be the best way. If it's running water as well. So if castles are mainly built alongside rivers and things for irrigation and things. If it's running water, you can open a dam and just wash them away.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Just
See
wash
you later.
anything that falls into that trench. Just wash it away.
Yeah, I love that.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
So you got higher ground. The walls are not going to be knocked down, are they? I mean, we're not talking about, flimsy cardboard houses.
Like Warwick
front
Castle.
Doors. We're thinking castle doors. No one gets in. It's perfect, really. Normally up high, so infected aren't really going to make it up there.
Yeah, you have a
either.
drawbridge. A lot of the time they have
I guess in America
drawbridges.
there aren't that as many castles, but if you were in the UK, then definitely head towards your nearest castle and hope that someone hasn't got there first.
Yeah, people would say prisons, wouldn't they, as well? But they don't have the moats. Prisons are good, but they don't have.
Prisons are good. Yeah,
They have the height. A lot of the time they have those fences, don't they?
Yeah.
Already the fences are built.
but they are designed to keep people in rather than keep people out from getting in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, prisons are good.
Yeah.
A good second, but
Let us know your thoughts.
probably going to be full of prisoners.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts. If you have
Castle's
any
probably
idea
empty.
where you would go if the apocalypse was to kick off, then...
My mum's house.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is when we're going to get so many answers, aren't we? That is just like random stuff. Yeah. Then comment, because we'll probably put this online, won't we?
There's an element of it where people would just give up, right?
Well, they would just
Yeah,
off themselves.
they just don't want to fight. It's just time to go.
Okay.
Titanic.
Got another question. Weapon of choice.
Wait.
Sorry.
I was just mentioning the Titanic. There's that scene, isn't there? There's lots of people trying to get off
Oh,
the
yeah,
boat.
it's awful.
There's a lot of people that are just like, okay, this is my fate. This is, this is life. That's fine, and see it out together. Apocalypse is tough dads.
Weapon of choice.
Well, obviously in the UK, guns aren't legal, so we can't pick up shotguns. I mean, shotguns you can get a hold of, but the laws in this country are really strict when it comes to firearms.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to create some kind of melee weapon, aren't you? The trouble with melee weapons are, and they make this mistake in The Walking Dead all the time,
Let's talk about this.
is that any blood or fluid that contains the virus, if that gets into the most porous part of your body, through the most porous part of your body, so your eyes or your mouth or any cut or any graze, then that virus is going to transmit just as quickly as if you've been bitten.
It depends on what the circumstances, if we're talking about, because in The Walking Dead, they cover themselves from head to toe on their faces with goo. They say that you have to be bitten, or when you die, you turn. In The Walking Dead, they cover themselves, don't they?
But The Walking Dead, we don't want to talk too much about The Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead, there's a flaw in it, isn't there? Because when people get bitten, everyone's already got the virus. Yeah. So only when you die do you then become infected. But for some reason, when you get bitten, you also become infected. It's a long running flaw in the franchise. But let's not talk about The Walking Dead. In real life, if someone's infected and it gets into the most porous part of your body, if it gets in your face, so blood splat in your face or eyes, even in The Walking Dead, when they're bitten, it's the transfer of fluid from one to the other. That's what it is the infection. So whether that fluid goes in for a bite straight into your bloodstream or goes through, a prick in your finger, like, it doesn't matter. If it gets into your blood, you're buggered.
I suppose if they put it on their face, hypothetically, and didn't go in their eyes or their mouth,
Yeah.
and there's no cuts, then we're all good.
That's fine.
Yeah, I tend to think of we were thinking about a crowbar. We were talking about crowbars are quite cool because they're
Crowbar's
pretty
a good
smack.
one,
But the thing that I get scared about is that it gets stuck in your head. Like if you smash someone in the head with it and it goes into the brain, it might get stuck, and then you're in all kinds of problems, aren't you?
Yeah, like
you can use the blunt side.
Yeah, but it's heavy, isn't it? Can be used for multiple things.
Yeah.
Like a baseball bat would just snap after a couple.
Yeah.
So like Lucille would just snap. Like it might be fun for
for a
few smacks, but yeah, it would break. So you need something metallic like a pole.
I'd use a proper sword.
But
they're heavy.
Yeah, a sword.
And axes and swords, they are heavy. Like
that's why they use a dagger.
a
knife or a big knife. Yeah, is a good one.
But obviously, would Americans survive the longest? Because they all have the guns over there.
Yeah, probably.
They would, wouldn't they?
But they'd also probably try and kill each other.
Yeah.
We'd rather all just sit down and have a cup of tea.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one at the door. I'll get this one.
Yeah. Oh, do you want a cuppa? Come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would.
Yeah, we would. Cool. So, what else?
I'm just trying to relate it to more real life kind of things.
Let's talk about what's happened this week. Lucy passed her driving test.
Yeah, it's not really relevant, is it? Yay. I passed my driving test. So eventually...
now in an apocalypse, you can drive to your mum's house.
To my mum's house. Well, I knew how to drive anyway, but yeah, I passed my test, so hopefully I could be driving in the future. We'll be able to drive the kit.
Yeah, I guess in an apocalypse, like no one would, all rules would go out the window, so you get chaos on the roads, wouldn't you? You wouldn't even take to the roads, would you?
Well, what am I?
mean, it's
I was going to go back to The Walking Dead, but I stopped myself.
Everybody's going to take to the roads.
Yeah, and then it gets clogged, and then it's done, which is why a lot of people.
Especially our roads are clogged anyway.
Yeah. It's not like America where you get the big roads.
Highways, yeah.
Big highways, yeah. So that's what happened. That's what's happening this week.
I can see Gmail notifications coming in. That's the gift cards for two.
Yeah.
They are almost... we don't do sellouts, but they might sell out because we can't sell too many.
I need to go and count how many we've got in the box.
Yeah.
Well, can we get more? Can we print more? Get more?
Yeah. Just need to keep on top of it. I think we've still got 50 or 60 odd left. It should be fine, but yeah.
So, what do we traditionally do at Christmas time in our events? Do we do anything?
We've run some really fun Christmas events.
Yeah. Why don't we tell you a little bit about what we've done in the past?
So we ran a 5-hour overnight experience in Shepton Mallet Prison.
Oh yeah, that was so
we
good.
had Santa.
It was Mrs.
Claus and 2 elves.
Yeah, quite a few elves, didn't we?
And they were your PTs, so they were your heroes. And we had, didn't we have some of the elves go rogue?
So what happened is some of the elves were missing. We did it in Shepton Mallet Prison, and the guests had to find the elves as the first challenge. The next challenge was that we had to save Christmas, and to do that we had to get all the presents. So we had to go around looking for presents. And Santa and I, our friend Nathan, he was Santa and I was Mrs. Claus, and we had all the Santa and Mrs. Claus get up on, but then we also had like loads of tack gear. So we were like, Santa had a shotgun, and and Santa was just drunk not actually drunk, but pretending to be like merry and drunk the entire time. The guests loved it. And then we had to find the elves, didn't we?
Yeah,
and I can't remember what the baddie was. Was it just the elves were just infected? We didn't have a Scrooge or like a... No.
We had someone just bombing around there, didn't we? We just had one of our lights go off. You still lit up.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And it was one of those events, but normally when we've done previous ones, we have our specials like vampires versus zombies. And
that was our first special.
Yeah, that was our first special, but previously we used to do a 4-hour overnight experience in the forest.
6 hours.
6 hours. So
that
was a disaster because it was so long. We used to really storytelling everything, and guests need a really good mix from having story told and being able to told where to go and what to do and having their hand held a bit, but also wanting to go out on their own, which is why we do 2-hour events primarily, because they're perfect balance. Whereas the 6-hour event was a nightmare, because if you let them go out on their own, they got bored, and then we didn't have that much 6 hours to fill. But when we did our Christmas special, it was 4 hours. And because we really planned it well, it had a really good balance and they loved it.
What people don't realise is that being in a zombie apocalypse is only fun if you're smashing zombies' brains in like 24/7.
Yeah.
And you get bored of the same thing.
You do.
So like, how many puzzles, how many things are you going to find, how many zombies are you going to shoot, how many, like, it's the balance between what we can realistically deliver and expectations is just like really different. So like, if we know we have to pay all of our staff, so like we've got a space 50 acres, that's massive. We'd need like 50, 60 zombies, each costing us £100 each, right? So what, we're going to charge our guests like £500, £600 a ticket. The expectation for a £600 ticket is going to be through the roof. So, like, the 6-hour ones, we charged, like, more money and they were less enjoyable because we just couldn't meet expectation. Because your expectation goes up with the ticket price and our costs dramatically go up because of the length of what we're trying to do to try and account for those tickets. So, like, what we do now is we do a 2-hour event and it's perfectly balanced between expectations of guests and what we can really realistically deliver. We keep you on your toes for the full 2 hours. You know, even a 3-hour event is too long.
Yeah, it is.
People get tired and bored. It's the same thing. And you can't, just with more money and a higher ticket price, you can't fulfill that time.
Yeah.
You just can't.
So we have a good balance, don't we?
It is a good balance, yeah. 2-hour event is long enough, you know, and even a 90-minute experience really is the ideal time to do it. You may think differently, but trust us, it's not the case.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we were saying about Christmas. So that's what we did. And we kind of just have zombie Santas out and about, don't we? Kind of Christmas tinsely themed.
Yeah, we're up in York for the last time in December, so we're up there. We normally do some zombie elves and stuff up there. And then we've got
17th of December. We're in Basingstoke. We actually have zombie clowns.
That'll be our last event. Yeah, we can do zombie elves, can't we?
We could do elves,
sort of a Christmassy, clowny, elvy thing.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, I've got good idea for that.
So we do tend to do stuff specials. The specials are just extremely hard though, because, like I said, it takes pretty quick at writing scripts, but for a 5-hour event to try and keep guests hooked all that time, like it's a really tough thing. Would you sit and watch a movie for 5 hours?
Yeah,
it's mad.
I mean, I can name a few. When we want to watch...
And then try and watch that movie on your feet for 5 hours.
Yeah, running around.
Yeah.
Without... Well, we do give them breaks, but...
It's really tricky to do. So...
I mean, there are so many films we want to watch and we go, I can't be bothered right now because it's like 3 hours long.
3 hours, yeah. We'll shoot a movie one day. We've got enough content because although we have 7 live chapters, actually we have stories that cover probably 15 chapters.
Yeah, we have loads. We can probably go into our favourite bits and favourite scenes and then put them all together.
I think
we were talking a little bit about scenes previously on our first podcast, I think, of when we had like Milton Keynes and Willerton Hall and our favourite moments from those. I'm sure we could pick them all out and put them into a script and do that. We've got the talent, we've got the staff. It's more just the filming equipment and the time, because we just running a business, is difficult, especially at the moment.
It's really tough.
So at some point, hopefully, we will write a film. I wonder if you'd like to see that. Let us know what you'd like it to be about. Zombies.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Zombies. We get sick of zombies.
I wasn't even a massive zombie fan when I started. Yeah.
Yeah, we like, we more like horror, don't we? But an action.
You never liked horror until we got together.
I didn't. I never, because I didn't.
Same with your old man.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't grow up watching horror. I think my dad must have watched it a bit, but still nowhere near as much as he did now. He loves a good
Conjuring film.
And now, he loves a good Conjuring.
Babadook.
That's what he's scared of, the Babadook. I've never actually seen that. We should add that to the list.
Boy always thinks that I always disagree with any film that he likes. I always disagree with, which is not true. But
he told us to watch this one. My dad told us to watch this one called Howl. Don't watch it. It's a film about werewolves on a train.
Yeah, British film.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We've tried to expand. We do zombies obviously, but
oh yeah, good point.
We've tried to do vampires, and we tried to do werewolves have always been in the background there, like other classical horror type things. Vampires we could definitely do.
Yeah.
We do our vampires versus zombies event, which is our special again, which we haven't done for over a year now. I think that was really good fun and really hard work again.
May they did it. Last one was May
specials, but so we've always thought about dipping into a vampire infection, because it could be very like Van Helsing, like the I just don't think the business ever has been in that position to catapult it into those other types of genres, and I think we sort of need to ease into that genre. I think the audience is there to do it, but I think it's just time, and we'd have to get whole new weapon systems and costume, and we can barely find actors enough for our main events, let alone anymore.
Do you know, it'd be sick. Well, we're never going to be able to do this because we just aren't in the right location. But if we did an Egyptian mummy experience, and you were like Rick O'Connell, and I was like, what's her name? Evelyn.
We could do. We were going to do mummies. So when we went to, because I've seen loads of sites over the years. So when I ever go and see a shopping mall site, so like an old Primark or somewhere like that, the format never fits our 2 hour. The venue never fits our format of a 2 hour event. So we always have to think of other things. And one of the ones I remember, it was an old bank, and it had a vault in it, and it had 2 floors in Basingstoke. And I went to this spot and I thought we could run like mummy, vampire and zombie experiences every other hour, and you could choose which enemy you wanted to face.
That's cool.
And just run like a 30-minute, all ages, just have a plethora of different costumes, and we run different, because the concept is the same, right? Mummies, they're technically zombies, right? So, and the main mummy you could have as a titan.
Yeah.
So
and then you have smaller mummies.
Yeah, it would be
great.
Could do. Look, those
read
brands
from the
are
Book
there.
of the Dead.
Yeah, those brands are there. And we could write those stories, and we could do those types of experiences. We've just got to be in a better position to be able to grow and expand. Yeah.
They're the dreams.
They are the dreams.
It's good that we got these ideas, because you never know what's going to happen, do we?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So keep an eye out for Vampire Infection, I think, is the best one to do next. Our last Vampires versus Zombies event was really good. Had really good feedback. It was a different type of vibe. So they had like an underground nightclub with like a vampire pole dancer,
and fire spinning.
They were like dealing drugs and theatrical drugs, and they had fire breathers and like stuff, and it was all underground. And then they'd go and do a little bit of a zombie mission. They'd go and do like a little bit of a vampire mission. It was a really good format. It's just like we just got to bring that back and try and find a venue that's suitable for it. We could always run it again at the workshop venue.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere like the Fort is probably better for running that,
I mean, I've not been, but you could have like catacombs underground. Then we have
the
tunnels,
Fort
and they
is
could
very,
be in like
very
coffins,
catacomby,
and obviously we can't have to make coffins, but
that would be great.
I mean.
Very cool. Very
cool.
Well, we might bring it back, but yeah, that's it for this week, I think.
Yeah, lots of things that we spoke about,
Yeah, good. As we start to go, like I said, gift card for 2 is at £99. That is a limited time offer. So if you fancy coming along and trying one of our experiences, or someone who might like it for a Christmas present, imagine opening up that under the Christmas tree. Oh, you've got me an immersive zombie experience.
Yes, please.
Like, I get to go and shoot zombies for 2 hours. Like, that's better than a chocolate bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe not a chocolate bar.
Lindt chocolate.
£80.
Yeah, £80. Well, I think I'd be a bit like, you got me chocolate for £80. Like,
or
really?
a pair of socks.
I'd rather the £80.
Come on, Nan. Fuck the socks off. Get the gift card for 2.
£99, remember?
£99.
Cool. Awesome.
See you later.
See you later.
All right.
We talked about loads of cool things then.
Yeah, it was good. There's so much content. I think what we do is we don't tend to explore the same content more.
Right.